we are going to replay the yesterday's event, excuse me, excuse me. That was a remarkable event. When you listen to the address by the COS, Dr. Ngozi Oraweze, and you listen to the address from our Prime Minister as well, and then you listen to in short, the program is worth listening to over and over again. So I'm just going to be replaying this program so we listen again. If you listen to it yesterday, very good. But if you did not listen yesterday, I believe it's a good opportunity for you to listen. Just listen to everything from beginning to end. You're not going to regret 1 second you spent listening to this program. So we are going to start listening to the program now. Happy viewing. We move.
Simon Ekpa, Dr. Jonathan Levy, Brigade Cabinet members, de facto government administrators, county and regional directors, stakeholders, media personnel present, Biafrans and friends of Biafrans. Welcome to the first ever press conference by the Biafra government in relation to the African Commission on Human and People's Rights. My name is Dr. Ngozi Oraweze, the Chief of Staff to the Biafran Prime Minister. Welcome, everyone. The 2023 Counter Reports on Human Rights Practices in Nigeria by the Bureau of Democracy, Human Rights and Labor indicted Nigerian government in so many ways of human rights abuse, violations, incarcerations, and killings. Closely related to the search for peace and reduction of killings in Africa is the International Crisis Group Report on African Union. Among the 8 major priorities in 2024 by African Union is the Biafran Ambazonia Alliance, signed in Finland in 2023 during the Biafra Referendum Conference under the leadership of His Excellency Simon Ekpa. This conference heralded the Biafra Charter and other important documents that have paved way for Biafra Declaration later this year. Today, Biafrans, through their Prime Minister and our Council, has continued to bring to world attention the violations, oppression, suppression, and inhumane treatment that Biafrans go through under the Nigerian government. From 1967 to 1970, when Biafra was a full-fledged country to date. The young country Biafra was thwarted by the Nigerian government with over 3 million Biafrans killed and many children starved to death by the Nigerian government. The policy that placed embargo on food, especially proteins, into Biafra land. Same problems that caused the Civil War of 1967 to 1970 still exist today in a more deadly format with the reintegration of terrorists into the Nigerian state, Islamization of Nigeria, and use of 2 laws in one country, creating a very dangerous diversity. A major violation in several human rights reports is the unlawful kidnap, torture, rendition, and continued incarceration of the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, by the Nigerian government. Several court rulings in Nigeria, including a United Nations committee set up to look into Nnamdi Kanu's case, have acquitted, discharged him, and sought reimbursement to him from the Nigerian government. But the government have refused to release Nnamdi Kanu or obey any of these court orders, both local and international. A country that has no respect for the rule of law is gone. Nigerian government believed that if it holds Nnamdi Kanu long enough, Biafra agitation and freedom will be abandoned and not realized. Knowing that their mission has failed in that aspect, they turned their attention to the only true disciple son of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, His Excellency Simon Ekpa, the Prime Minister of Biafra government in exile. Under Simon Ekpa's leadership of millions of Biafrans, and in a recent Twitter poll conducted, 98% of Biafrans voted to exit Nigeria. This fact is undisputable. It is the wish of the people, and it should be respected for peace, equity, justice, and in line with the laws governing self-determination. Biafrans met the criteria for those laws of which Nigeria was a member state and signed those treaties. The issue of the Lekki massacre and mass burial of innocent victims who participated in the march was confirmed by the Human Rights Report of 2023. Nigeria government denied killing and burying those innocent children. The truth will always stand the test of time. Other violations by the Nigerian government include the incarceration, torture of Biafrans in different cells across Nigeria, whose only crime was to seek for their own country and to exit a country where non-terrorists are reintegrated into the security apparatus, including military and police. The recent killings in Enugu by Fulani terrorists supported and shielded by the Nigerian military and government is documented. Hundreds of killings in different parts of Nigeria, including the Ehamufo killings, the Obibo killings, the Mbo killings, the Aba killing, recently the Okwama Niger Delta killings, the Olu killings, Borno, Jos, Zamfara, Kaduna, Benue, Abuja, including the Federal Capital Territory of Nigerian killings. Persistent and continuous kidnappings of indigenous citizens, school children, undergraduates, women and children with no help from the government, headed by President Tinubu, or the army chief under Christopher Musa, or the senators headed by Godswill Akpabio. Little help. Comment on national TVs. No safeguard of lives and properties by the Nigerian government. Biafra exit is a life and death matter. These and many more are the reasons why Biafra seek to exit Nigeria. Biafrans have maintained the Monday sit at home consistently for over 2 years, courtesy of Biafrans and the Prime Minister, His Excellency Simon Ekpa. This act in itself is a form of referendum, and coupled with our established government in exile and de facto homeland administrators, our defined geographical area with its people, culture, and origin well defined, the 40 United States of Biafra, each with its governors, whom we call the administrators, deputies, and secretaries. Citizens in these 40 states are loyal to these administrators and to the Biafra government in exile, and have been massively participating in the referendum voting, which is in its second stage. Over 20 million Biafrans that rejected the past election in Nigeria, which was documented on Nigeria INEC website, many of them have voted for the Biafra referendum, and more are still voting daily as we speak. Biafrans are at the point where we are facing extinction and begging to leave from the Nigerian government and sponsored Fulani terrorists who kill, maim, and occupy indigenous Nigerians' home without any consequences from the Tinubu government. During the recent killings in Plateau State, one of the sitting legislators noted that the practice of these terrorists is to attack communities who, out of fear, ran away from their homes, then only for the same home to be occupied by foreigners in a few months' time. This is happening across the whole country. The act of depopulate and occupy is what the Nigerian government and their terrorist loyalists use to eliminate thousands of indigenous Nigerians and Biafrans every year. How could a government that reintegrates non-terrorists as an approved policy be asking world leaders to help fight terrorists? This game is ended. These killings, burning of homes and businesses targeted at Biafrans by the Nigerian government using both the military, police, and reintegrated terrorists can no longer be tolerated. The continuous attack of Biafra businesses, in different parts of the country, such as in Lagos, Kaduna, Abuja, Kano, and the economic sabotage of Biafrans on a daily basis by the Nigerian Tinubu government can no longer be tolerated or swept under the carpet. Remember the 20 pounds given to all Biafrans at the end of the Civil War, regardless of how much any Biafran had in the bank. Such wickedness against Biafran persists to date, and we cannot accept it anymore. Biafrans have risen up to defend themselves from these constant killings, oppression, suppression, and economic destruction. For many years, we've marched on the streets, we've carried placards to express our wish. We've consulted publicly and privately with stakeholders. We've reached out to foreign bodies such as the United Nations for help. In all this, what do we get? More reprisals, more killings of unarmed citizens, marginalization, hatred, subjugation, intimidation, and above all, continued violation of our rights, land, and property by the Nigerian government, their allies, and their supporters. This is against all international laws and treaties they sign with other countries. Nigerian government believes in the use of the barrel of the gun to silence those who do not wish to be part of their terrorist state and agenda. Even innocent women and children who were not involved or against what they do end up being murdered. So this shows that whether you defend yourself or not, Nigerian government will kill you using the reintegrated terrorists whose agenda is to depopulate and conquer. The government agenda approved and signed by Nigerian government and legislators and reintegrate these terrorists in different formats, including the one called Ruga, of which they used to spread across the whole Nigeria. The Fulani tactics of divide and conquer is a strong tool which they've employed over the years in many African regions, including Biafra land. They financially and politically corrupt the governors, legislators, local leaders, townships, and citizens to continue their heinous crime. These inner part in the divide and conquer game are the insiders in the United States of Biafra, who are being used by the Nigerian government, killer governors in the Southeast and South, as well as those who are benefiting financially from the Nigerian government to distract, manipulate, and destroy the Biafra struggle. But have no doubt, the crop of Biafrans in the forefront of this struggle today has systematically, through due diligence, investigation, and information, identified most of these saboteurs and their tactics, and we continuously be treated as enemy of the people. Finally, the intervention and actions of the African Human Rights Commission and other world bodies are needed urgently as we move towards the declaration of the independent state of Biafra on December 2nd, 2024 in Finland. On this note, I thank our leader, Onyendu Nnamdi Kanu, for your steadfastness, resilience, and your stand for peace, equity, and justice. Keep holding on. At this point, please permit me to call on our one and only indefatigable epitome of resilience, a man whom our leader, Onyendu, commanded Biafrans to go and follow and do what he says, because he is bringing a new dimension to this liberation process. The man that opened the eyes of Biafrans and the world to the iniquities, sufferings, killings, danger, and systematic elimination process of indigents by the Nigerian government and state. The man whom the Nigerian president, army, police, government, senators, House of Rep, and their cabals could not sleep when they remember him. The one whose name is like a thunderbolt to the ears of the oppressors and killers. The man whose enemies post on Twitter faceless, without any face. The man who has consistently exposed the ills and wickedness and killings of the Nigerian government to the international stage. And for the first time, the world became aware of the ills being perpetrated by the Nigerian government and their cronies on a whole new level. This guy has shaken Nigeria to its roots, and nothing, absolutely nothing will stop him, because he has the mandate of Biafran people with him. We fully support his actions towards our liberation from a terrorist state. He has threaded where many failed and his wisdom and commitment to Biafra restoration sets him on the highest pedestal. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me to welcome the Ambassador of Peace, Biafran Prime Minister, His Excellency Agune Chemba Obatobie Mazi Simon Emba. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much. The Honorable Chief of Staff of the Biafra Republic Government in Exile and the de facto government in Homeland. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen of the press. Good evening, our cabinet members, ministers, heads of department, friends of Biafrans, ladies and gentlemen of the press. I welcome every one of you this evening. Good evening, our international attorney, Dr. Levy. I welcome you to this very first ever Biafra Republic Government in Exile press briefing to inform Biafrans on the milestone of this government within a very short period of time, especially on this Banjul court development. My fellow Biafrans, since I was elected the Prime Minister of the Biafra Republic Government in Exile, I made sure that we fulfill the promise to the Biafra people by following the template and liberating Biafra using multi-dimensional approach. The multi-dimensional approach, the political approach, diplomatic approach, and of course, in self-defense and armed struggle approach. The reason for that is that while we are following the international most acceptable way of liberating people that are being subjugated or enslaved by the oppressors, we as well, and at the same time, decided to protect and defend ourselves against a known terrorist state called Nigeria. So my fellow Biafrans, we continue to pursue the freedom of Biafra people using every mechanism necessary. Of course, there is a need for us to also use the judicial approach. And today we are in Banjul court with the Nigeria terrorist state. The Nigeria terrorist state, many people may not understand why we will continue to address Nigeria as a terrorist state. A country where terrorists are reintegrated within 6 months of so-called surrender. Knowing fully well that you cannot reintegrate terrorists within 6 months. In fact, terrorism is something that is very ideological. It is not something you are going to solve by putting people in one place you call a camp and giving them food and teaching them how to live a life and make food, or how to run and do trainings. And then after 6 months, you will say that you have now de-radicalized them. There is no point in de-radicalizing a terrorist that is very ideological. And today we have seen the effect of those whom they claim to have been de-radicalized and reintegrated into the society, including recruiting them into military, police, Air Force, Navy, and all that. We've seen the havocs, the menace they cause in our land, and when they are recruited, they deploy them to Biafra territory, and they will begin to burn villages, houses, instead of protecting the people. And of course, the reason for that is not very, very far from what we have been suspecting for a very long time: Islamization of Nigeria. We do not have anything against Islam, but we expect the other people to also respect our choice of religion. We are Christians, Jewish, and of course, traditional worshippers. And you cannot force us to embrace a different religion that we are not conversant with or that we don't want in our life. So that is the reason you see many killings, ethnic cleansing, annihilation of many ethnic groups, and of course, other indigenous nationalities within the Niger area. And Biafra people have stood up to resist that particular barbarism and massacre of different ethnic nationalities within the Niger area. Biafrans are resisting it, and for that reason, in as much as we want peace, we must defend ourselves. In as much as we want to exit Nigeria, we must make sure that our women and children are not killed like before. We must make sure that we don't go out to the street and give ourselves very cheaply to the Nigeria state to be massacred. We've seen a massacre of Biafrans from 1999, after many, many years from after the war. We've seen the emergence of Biafra from 1999 under Mossop. Many thousands of them were killed, many buried in shallow grave. From 2013, we saw the emergence of the indigenous people of Biafra under the leadership of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Many of them were butchered and killed from 2015 to 2017, 2018, and of course, even in 2022 and in 2023. Many of them were killed. The last one happened in Aba, in a state called Abia State, in the former Abia State, and they were protesting, and many of them were killed and butchered live in the street of Aba. After that massacre, we ordered sit at home to make sure that those who killed them were hunted down by the Biafra people. Of course, we recorded some success on that, and we continue to make sure that those who come to kill Biafrans will not live to tell the story. It is self-defense. It has been activated, and you can agree with me that since Biafra Republic Government in Exile, the unveiling of the Biafra Defense Forces, the Biafra Liberation Army, and Biafra Resistance Fighters, this barbarism, this killing has reduced to the minimum. They no longer kill our people at will. We no longer even give them that particular opportunity to kill anymore. And each time they come to kill in our community, we have ruthlessly resisted that particular barbarism. And today, you can see all of them crying. And sometimes I look at them, how they cry, and I laugh. I was listening to the so-called defense chief, Musa, lamenting how Nigeria has engaged Finland. I do not know what they are engaging Finland for. Is Simon Ekpa in Nigeria? The answer is no. You know where Biafra Liberation Army they are. If you think that you have the firepower, you go there. You have been going there with armored tanks. You have been visiting those camps. And of course, at the end of the day, you get defeated. And then you go to the social media and cry about Simon Ekpa. Is Simon Ekpa in Nigeria carrying gun? Is Simon Ekpa the one that you are coming to kill in their villages, in the villages? Is Simon Ekpa the one that made you to kill over 200 people in Aba school? Is this Simon Ekpa that was the reason why you killed massacre Biafras at Mpo? Was this Simon Ekpa the reason why you kidnapped Mazi Nnamdi Kanu? Why you kidnapped Mazi Nnamdi Kanu? I was still having broadcasts on YouTube. I have not even proved anything to the terrorist state of Nigeria. You kidnapped him, thinking that after that, Biafra will end. In fact, after the kidnapping of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, many of you organized press conference, from the special advisor to the president then, to the national security advisor, to the Minister of Justice, AGF, Malami. All of you organized press conference bragging how Biafra have ended, bragging how you can never hear, very soon, nobody will hear about Biafra again. You thought you all succeeded, but hey, actually, I am just starting. If you think that you have cried, believe me, after the second day of December, when Biafra may have counted their vote and issued a declaration for the restoration of independence of Biafra, believe me, your cry will multiply by 1,000. I want to also assure you people that the voting for self-referendum that is going today have recorded a very tremendous success. Today, from the homeland alone, we've recorded over 6 million votes. 6 million. And this is just the first stage of the voting. The first stage is going to end this May ending, and we enter the second stage. So those 20 million Biafrans who boycotted the election on the order of the Biafra Republic government in exile during the Nigeria general election, I believe many of them are ready to cast their vote. And the number of those who are waiting to cast their vote may have even increased. And on this note, I want Biafrans to listen to the awareness that we have created globally. Today in America, they are talking about Biafra. In Asia, they are talking about Biafra. We'll force the American media to start writing about Biafra. It is a must, because it is going to be the beginning of the civilization in Africa. And on this note, I call on the media team to flash on the screen the latest development. As a matter of fact, I do not know which country this video is coming from, but just to show you how far the Biafra self-referendum awareness have reached, I want the media team to show this video on the screen. Like I said, I do not know from which country, but there are Biafrans, and this particular awareness has penetrated, and we are now global. So media team, flash it on the screen, and I will continue from there. Thank you.
Come on, the jingle, please.
Go to referendum now. Biafra is going. Anything I know, Biafra is going. Man, kind of life and direct, we are going. So when you vote, because we need it tomorrow. I will need vote. Let's go home and fix our place. I want to buy the mind. I am unmarried to Ekpa. Otu group, it's our neighbor. In that Captain Park, Igbo, Otu can buy no. In Gas Springs, Etua, in Gas Tiboke, Otu can buy it. Get not to know. I need to buy. No, we have to go tired of work. I have 1 year. They are tired. Even my father in it. I don't know how to go that. Even if some people that visit in Hagon Airport, they made them up with a citizenship. So, because when you have a mother, if you have a plan, you know how to go over that, it's better for you. So, if someone there, I know about that. Either they are not or they are not. 2021. The buy about that total 168. So from Africa, whatever they want to that. Africa, whatever they want. But you can now no. Because I just say that no matter how messed up Rome is, Rome is Rome. From there back, they go tired of fun. Let's go home. What happened now? No matter next we go to Kaila to buy. I rest my kids. Because there is some now that the man I have along. I want to buy a number of that I put to have food. I'm going to not told you, I'm not going to have to go now. So if I got to make it expire, I'll put a couple. So I like to do the bad people. I rest my kids.
I'll be the open. 100 and something percent. If I do, I'm not going to go out. I
All right, thank you very much. So if you watch the video, you will understand that the spirit of Biafra has possessed Biafrans all over the world. Somebody should be able to find out which country is that. But the Biafran people are voting in mass, in millions, and it is as a result of the resilience of the government, the resilience of the Biafra Defense Forces, and of course, the genuineness in the people piloting the affair of this particular movement. I've just been confirmed that this is from South Africa. So if you listen to the speaker, he said over 100 or something people were killed last year. And that's the number. It may be more than that. And of course, our aim is to make sure we provide a stable and sane society in Biafra land where our people can return home, develop themselves, and attain their maximal potentials. There is nowhere you are in the world today as a Biafran, no matter how well you are doing, and no matter how important you are, there is no way you are going to attain your potential in those countries of your residence or the countries of your abode. Biafra remain the only hope, the only solution, where your aspiration, your potential, you are going to attain to the highest maximum. So my Biafra people, I want to thank you all for making sure you support this government. For today, we can witness the peace in Biafra land. It is the only place where people are not being butchered like other parts of Nigeria. So I thank you for your support, especially the financial donors who make it possible for us to buy equipment, sophisticated weapons, to defend our land against the Nigeria terrorist state that comes with Tucano aircraft, Tucano jet fighter, bombardier, and of course, military tanks, to bomb and bombard our land. We have always provided adequate military hardware to be used by the Biafra Defense Force to defend our women and children from the terrorist state of Nigeria. Today, we have been able to successfully submit the application at the African Court in Banjul. And of course, the details of this application and this filing will be made public immediately after this press briefing. And on this note, our attorney, Dr. Jonathan Levy, will be coming in after me to give more detailed amplifying the importance of this particular application at the African Union. Many other filings will be coming, as I have made very clear to the Biafra people that what we are doing is using a multi-dimensional approach for the freedom of Biafra. So now this is the legal approach that many of you may have wished that it may have come earlier than now, but no, this is the exact time, right time that we take this necessary step. Not, it shouldn't have come before, and we shouldn't wait till next month. No, this is the exact right time that we should take this particular step we've taken today. That application was submitted yesterday successfully. We've received acknowledgement, and Dr. Levy will come to give more insight on the implications on the Nigeria side about the Banjul Court application filed by the Biafra government. Officially, Biafra versus Nigeria. On this note, I thank you for your support so far. Remember, we still have a very long way to go. The declaration is coming on the 2nd of December. For this to happen successfully, we need support, we need encouragement, and we'll continue to push until the 2nd of December. Nigerians and their terrorist state are not sleeping. Likewise, the Biafra people, we are also not sleeping. If you look at my eyes, you will find out that I have not slept for many days. And I am still not going to sleep until the 2nd of December. They say, onye rara ụra eme gịnị eburu egbe ya. Ndewo. Thank you.
Thank you, the Prime Minister. Dr. Jonathan, over to you, please.
Thank you, and thank you, Mr. Prime Minister. I also want to thank the spokesperson for making my job very easy, because we all know the background, and she summed it up very well. For those of you who don't know me, I've been involved with Biafra for a long time. I've filed in the past many of these human rights complaints that seem to go nowhere. And my position has always been, when there is a united government of Biafra, such as there is now, we will start to see some results. So now we move forward with a filing with the African Commission, but not on our hands and knees. We don't come forward as a supplicant begging them. We come forward as the government of Biafra. And the name of the communication, the filing that's been made with the African Commission is Biafra versus Nigeria, not Mossab, not some other organization, but the government of Biafra. So that is what's been filed. And thanks to the organization of the government, we had a person in Banjul who was able to negotiate the filing over the counter with the commission. So we have a file stamp on there. And now the Nigerians have to answer. The Nigerian government has to answer, but not to an organization, not to a person, but they have to answer to Biafra. And here, I'll show you. Let's see if I can just share the screen here. Bear with me. Here we go. So if you can see this, it says, before the African Commission on Human and People's Rights, Biafra versus Nigeria. This is it. We come as equals, filing our complaint. And you can see, there it is, the file stamp of the African Commission, which was achieved at
Dr.
some
Levy, Dr. Levy,
Yes.
are you sharing a screen? Because we
Well,
can't see.
Oh, no. Well, I'm trying to share the screen. Let's see.
All right.
Let's see. Let me see. So let's go back. Yeah, I want everyone to see what the effort was here all about. Go back here. Well, it's maybe I need to do this. How's that? Better? No, still not.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think it's good now, but yeah.
It's
There we
good.
go.
Yeah, I see it. So anyway, here we're talking about Biafra versus Nigeria. That's the heading. So the Nigerians will see this, and they will see the first thing they see is the word Biafra, which will just cause them immense pain, because that's the word that can't be said. And they have to answer. They don't have to, they have to answer to Biafra. That's the significance of this. And we achieved the file stamp, which is on a different one there. But anyway, so that's what we've done, is do this, and we come not begging them for help. We're giving notice to the what we're essentially doing is giving notice to the African Union that they need to convey our information directly to the Nigerian government, bring the Nigerian government before the African Commission to answer our complaint. And they need to answer that complaint before the results are in from the referendum. Why is that? Because when the referendum for the reinstatement of Biafra occurs, and when the results are in, Nigeria is going to implode, because legally, a referendum is the way to achieve independence. We're following the law. A referendum is the internationally recognized way to achieve self-determination, or in this case, bring back the self-determination that really never went away. But now, because there's a unified government, it's going to come again. So we're asking the African Union on an emergency basis, hey, talk to these Nigerians, bring them in there, and let's get a peaceful transition going on. A peaceful transition. And this is what we want. We also want a plan for the reparations. We want the reparations. I'll see if I can turn off the screen sharing. We got it on, but we'll get it back off. Let's see. I can't get it off. So anyway, that's what I was. Oh, here we go. Stop it. All right. So anyway, we want them to come in, and we want to stop the implosion. We don't want unnecessary violence because we want a peaceful transition. We want the African Union to lend its good offices to make that smooth transition occur. We want a plan for reparations for economic abuses and human rights abuses. And this is what we're asking. And we're asking as an equal, a co-equal to Nigeria, because we are Biafra. And that's what we're doing here before the African Commission. And that's the approach we're going to take in every other legal proceeding, that it is the Republic of Biafra, which is a co-equal to Nigeria. And this is how we're going to use the legal system and use the international system, because as the Prime Minister has pointed out, we must defend ourselves. But we are possible ways to do this to get the international recognition that is due. And one way to do this is a referendum, going to the international organizations. But if the Nigerians insist, then there's no choice but self-defense. But again, as a last resort. But this is the multi-level approach that we're using. And we expect on an emergency basis upon which this was filed that the Nigerian government will answer this communication before the referendum date at the end of November, before the referendum results are due. We've made this very clear that Nigeria must be brought into the Banjul process before the end of November. And we will wait and see what happens. If the Nigerians refuse, then the African Union will proceed without them under their rules.
Thank you very much, Dr. Levy. And of course, the Biafra government has made their stand very, very clear. As we pursue the freedom of Biafra using this multidimensional approach, diplomatic approach, political approach, legal approach, and of course, the approach of self-defense. We are not dropping down our weapons because we are going to be annihilated by the Nigeria state. We've seen them done it in other parts of Nigeria. They are still doing it, and those people are helpless. So we have taken this position, and nothing on this planet Earth will make us go back. Only the pronunciation from the African Union on the recognition of this particular self-referendum that the Biafra Republic government in exile is conducting at this point. We also demand the ratification of this particular self-referendum. And in case they feel that this is not up to their standard, they are, of course, very free to conduct their own supervised referendum in Biafra. But the first and foremost, our demand is that this ongoing self-referendum must be ratified by the African Union and the Banjul Court. So just to ramming up, and this particular communication will be made public. And I believe that many press, journalists, and the media representatives who are here, this particular application and filing will be made public. We're not hiding anything, and Biafrans can see exactly what the government have done and what we are still going to do. There are many pending things that we are working out together with our attorney, Dr. Levy, which will come in the later days. And of course, as we progress, we will always come to update Biafrans on what we are doing and how far we have gone and what they are going to be expecting. So there are many things that we are doing together, in international level. So like today, as you all know, the Biafra is now in global, discussion, and that is what we are doing. We are going to be pushing and making this pressure to go very, very high, to the highest level. Before the November ending, when the self-referendum will be concluded, we will know how many voters and how many Biafrans have registered their vote. And of course, those who have voted to exit Nigeria will definitely be made public. And that publication will be in Finland during the convention. So on this note, those of you who are yet to get your tickets to Finland, please, you know where to go to the administrator, Biafra Security Administration website. That's where you get your ticket to Finland, and make sure that you do it on time, because the limit is still at 1,000. Once it is 1,000, you may not be able to make it to Finland. So please, the space is still limited. And of course, the BLT, the Biafra Liberation Tax, is still something that every Biafran, anywhere you are in the world, you must participate in it. I am very, very commending these people in South Africa. I was surprised to see this particular awareness in the street of South Africa. So whoever that was the one shouting and creating this awareness in South Africa, we commend you, and we need more Biafrans like that, you know, to push the awareness to the street, especially for people to understand that voting in this self-referendum is very important. The people in the homeland are taking the lead. The people in the homeland have recorded over 5 million votes in the homeland. And the Biafrans in diaspora are yet, we are yet to see the effect of the diasporans in the voting. But of course, quite reasonable numbers have voted, but yet we expect to see more of the diaspora participation. It is not just only funding the government and supporting the liberation. The most important thing now, in as much as you are funding the government and the liberation of Biafra, we want to see your vote counted. That is the democratic right that you do not want to miss. So, Dr. Levy, thank you. And I know many people may have questions, so you will give us some time to entertain few questions. And of course, myself will be ready to answer questions. And then after that, we'll call it a day until the next update that will happen after our next move. All right, the media team, you can take it off from here. Thank you. And then, of course, the Minister of Finance, if you have any update on the finance, you know, if you have anything to say about the finance, especially on the importance of participating in the fundraising and other groups that have been created, you know, for the Biafra Liberation Tax. If you want to make comment on that, you can come in. Otherwise, we go to the comment, general comment, and of course, the question and answer. Thank you. The media team, over to you.
Finance Minister, are you there? The floor is open for questions and answers. Please raise your hand and throw in your questions. The floor is open for question and answers.
Anybody who want to ask question can raise, raise his hand, and we'll give you like 1 minute to ask question. If there is no question, then we have to start rounding up.
Okay. Ngosina Udekwe, unmute yourself.
Good evening, my beautiful people. Good evening, my Prime Minister. I greet you for your very good work that you have been doing for our people. Am I coming out?
Yes, you're coming out.
Okay. Thank you for your good work that you have been doing to liberate our people from this urgent poverty and the suffering that we have been suffering from Nigeria. And my question is, for those of us who have been helping people to be voting online, the receipt with us now is too much, and it is hard for me to identify who is who from the receipt, because the receipts are almost the same thing. I want to know if there will be need at the end of the voting, if everybody is going to be coming with their receipt one by one, how are we going to identify it? Most especially those of us that are voting online, that are helping people to vote. Thank you, my Prime Minister.
You don't need to come with any receipt. All we need to see is to see those numbers rising on our end.
All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Chinemerem Sam, unmute yourself. Chinemerem Sam, you have the mic.
Yeah, good morning, Biafras. Good morning, my Prime Minister.
Greetings.
Good morning, everybody. I have a question. Knowing fully well that Nigeria is so devilish and so evil, very like Satan himself is a Nigerian. So knowing all these things, if they did not appear or respond to this application, what will be our next step? Thank you, sir.
Our next step is exactly what we are doing. We don't care whether they respond or they don't respond. Well, we have formally filed this application, and if they don't respond, it is in the record that we have done it. And our demands and concerns were well stated in that application. Like I said, I'm going to make it public. So we're going to post it public. There is nothing hidden anywhere. So every person who is interested will go and see for themselves. And if Nigeria do not respond, the 2nd of December, after the 2nd of December, we are going to continue what we have planned to do. And of course, the rest will be history. We have defeated Nigeria as of today. You can see them crying. This is a country that spent billions of dollars in their military, whatever, but because the land is against them, the spirit of Biafra that they massacred for over 50, 60 years, they can never be appeased without the freedom of Biafra people. You hear the chief of defense staff claiming that when they go by air to bombard Biafra land, they don't see anything. It is only in the public. That's an open confession that they go to bomb Biafra, but they can't see anything from the air. Have you ever seen anything like that? Where the chief of the defense of a nation will come to a national TV and open mouth and talk anyhow. That they go to bomb Biafra land and they can't see anything from the air. So the land is against them. And more of this confession will come. Just watch and see. So if they don't respond, we don't care. Like I have discussed with our attorney, my intention of doing this is to fulfill every requirement. So that tomorrow, when somebody will come and ask Simon Ekpa, why are you taking this particular step you are taking? I will have enough reason that is reasonable enough for people to support the exit of Biafra. It is the only way to save life of millions of people so that Nigeria will not massacre us again and go free. So we are doing it not just for the record purpose, but also to make sure that those approach that we talked about, that we followed all of them, not just coming to social media and talk without action. Our action is beyond just self-defense. We take it up to the international legal level, and then of course, diplomatic level and political level. So it is all approach, all inclusive. That's what we're doing. Like I said, if they don't respond, that is their business. Thank you.
David, unmute yourself. David, unmute yourself. You have the mic.
Good evening, my Prime Minister. Thank you so much for coming to answer questions to the Biafran people. Please, my question is this. We have seen the upsurge of killings, kidnappings, displacement of indigenous populations all over Nigeria, except in Biafra land. And in Biafra land, we have 40 states in Biafra land. We want to know, how have you been able to withstand the invasion by the terrorist state, that it is only in Biafra land that we are not witnessing all these kind of killings? What is the secret behind your doggedness? What is the secret behind your tenacity? And what is the secret behind the positive responses that you give to Biafran, that they can never be killed again like they are killed before?
Because we know the secret to the killing. Self-defense. It is only law that Africans are aliens to. Majority of Africans are aliens to the law of self-defense. So when you see them talking about me, for example, how you must bring Simon Ekpa to kill, I look at them and laugh. because it shows that they know nothing about international law and they know nothing about self-defense. They think that when somebody comes to kill you with a gun, you must stay like this to be a law-abiding citizen and let the person kill you so that the next person who the bullet did not hit will cry and make videos and post on social media. No. And one thing we have come to understand is the activation of the law of self-defense. So when they carry AK-47 to kill you, buy AK-47 to defend yourself. You know, and when they hear it, they go gaga. Wow. You want to tell people to carry AK-47? Wow, you are a criminal. You are a terrorist. And they thought by calling me a terrorist will stop me from asking Biafrans to defend themselves with gun when they come with gun to kill you. That is the difference. So they have seen somebody who know what they don't know. Not that I know what they know. I know what they don't know. And that thing they don't know is the law of self-defense. You can imagine where somebody is coming to kill you with a gun and you defend yourself, they turn around and call you a criminal. You can imagine where Nigeria, like you just said, there are killings all over Nigeria. And of course, nobody is doing anything, only to make a video, share on social media, and there is no solution. These villages are being ransacked by terrorists every day. 500 people kidnapped, killed. Nobody is doing anything. They are after Simon Ekpa because Simon Ekpa have done something none of them can do. And what is it? To preach self-defense, give encouragement to the people on ground, to let them understand that carrying a gun to defend yourself against gun-carrying terrorists is not a crime. That is the fact. It is not a crime anyway. So only when you know your right, you can be able to do what we're doing. So we know our right and we know it very well. That's why I am standing here very strongly speaking and waiting for anybody to do anything. And let me ask the person, under which law and under which international law are you going to call me a criminal for asking Biafrans to defend themselves against the barbarism and terrorism of the Nigerian state? So my brother, they can never defeat us with the barrels of the guns. And also, I've made it very clear, Nigeria continue to use guns and bullets to keep one Nigeria, and the people at the receiving end are Biafrans. That have ended. It's not going to continue anymore. You can't keep Nigeria one with guns and bullets in this 21st century. Not possible. So we are going to give it to them bullet by bullet, iron to iron, gun to gun, until the world listen and know that we have a very valid reason to ask for our own freedom, for the under self-determination. It's something you have done to other parts of the world. Why are we different? So this right, we are standing gidigam on it. Thank you.
Yeah, can I add something, Mr. Prime Minister?
Yeah, go ahead, please.
It is a human right. It's a human right to defend yourself. They don't talk about that much, but we know that it's a human right. And we can point to our brothers in Ambazonia, the Ambazonian Defense Force. Its leader, Ayaba, is a free man. He's not being arrested. So that shows you that it's a human right. It's a human right to defend yourself. And they don't talk about that, but the fact is you cannot be arrested for promoting self-defense when someone comes to kill you. End of story on that.
Thank you very much.
Pharmacist Diana, over to you.
you. Thank you, my Honorable PM and COS and Dr. Levy for this wonderful press. Thank you for giving this press briefings. It's also have given us the much needed wealth of information that we're seeking for. For that, I say thank you very much. And I also like to use this opportunity to speak to the Biafrans in diaspora. I realize it's important, our jobs are very important because we're chasing money to fund this liberation and freedom. But please, each and every one of us should try and make out time to complete your voting and then do your registration for Finland. And I'm hoping to see all of you there. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Diana. Solomon, unmute yourself. Solomon, unmute yourself. David, if you have another question, go ahead. Your hand is up.
Yes,
again.
thank you. Thank you so much. My Prime Minister, I want to ask this question. You said by suing Nigeria in an African court, we know that Nigerian government wield a significant influence in Africa. Don't you think the outcome of that court case will be influenced by the corruption or corruptive tendencies of the Nigerian government?
You probably did not listen to what I answered. Were you the one who asked the previous question?
No, not really, sir.
So, and you think that I have not addressed this question? I said, we don't care. What we have done is the right thing. So let us wait. We cannot just start flogging the issue on the internet. That is the problem of Nigeria. That's the Nigerian mentality. You go to the social media and have court hearing. It is called public opinion. We don't do that. We have done what we believe is the right thing. Allow the African court to do whatever they have to do with the case. You don't come here and start giving them, start doing the Nigeria way, because Nigeria is when people go to court, they will go to social media and have the trial. They will go to NTA News, they will go to channel television. That's where the trial is taking place. They call it public opinion. Nigeria judicial system is a mess. It is based on public opinion. When people sue you to court, they will go to social media and start debating it. You will see analysts. They will be, and then the judges in the case will be listening to them and who the people are supporting most. That's how they're going to rule the case. And that is completely rubbish. That's why Nigeria don't have a working, justice system. So we don't do the same thing here. The Biafra government has done the right thing, which is taking Nigeria to court, and it is Nigeria versus Biafra. So let's see how the African Union is going. This is a very peculiar case. It's not just anyhow thing. You need to go through the document and see the point and the wording of this document, and you see what the Biafra government has done. So let us watch and see how the African Union Court will handle it. And we don't need to give them opinion on that. Thank you.
Okay. Can I ask one more question?
Go ahead.
Thank you.
Okay. Yes. My Prime Minister, you said over 6 million Biafrans have voted so far in the self-referendum. I want to ask you, sir.
Only in Biafra land.
Okay, only in Biafra land, like you said.
Homeland, yes.
Okay, I want to ask you, sir, are you impressed so far by the turnout of the voting, and what do we expect in the second phase? Thank you, sir.
I am very, very impressed. You know why? Because of the disenfranchisement of the Nigeria state, security threat, and many risks involved. We've seen where our people have been kidnapped in part of the riverine area, in a former Akwa Ibom. Some people were kidnapped there by the Nigeria state, while they gather in a compound for the voting. And we have seen a lot of harassment here and there. So I'm very, very proud, and for the results so far. And also remember that in the beginning, it was only the online voting. We find out that online voting, because of there is no light, no electricity, our people are not very conversant with using this modern technology and all that. Remember, this is the first time ever that many people are even participating in electoral process. First time ever. So many people do not have the email, the Gmail to be able to participate. So that's another disenfranchisement on its own. We also noticed this, a lot of complaint from Biafrans. We change the situation, and then we change the pattern. And again, we find out that also we needed to have electoral officials. We also provided electoral officials for this particular exercise. They were also facing with a lot of challenges, of course, kidnapping from the Nigeria state and all that. So yes, but you see the resilience in Biafra people, the zeal in them to let us do this sacrifice and see how it will end. And that particular resilience is what is giving me power today, because I see Biafrans are voting. You can see the videos all over social media. We're posting it, just the one we decide to post. Many of the videos will be played in Finland during the convention. But most of the videos that you see, we don't want to show their faces because of security reasons, because Nigeria state does not give the enabling ground to compete with them. If they can do that, believe me, we don't need to carry gun to defend ourselves. But because they don't give you the enabling playing ground to be able to compete, to see who the people will support and who is having the loyalty of the people. Biafra government is definitely having the loyalty of Biafra people, 99.9%. That we have demonstrated during the sit at home. But you know, they will tell you that people are afraid of coming out during the sit at home. And as stupid as this sounds, they're actually using it to, to make press statement. They tell you people are scared to die. And if you are claiming that people are scared to die, which means you've actually lost every right, every legitimacy to become a government. You cannot protect your people, and you cannot guarantee their safety to come out in the territory you claim to be controlling. It means you've lost legitimacy to continue to be a government, right? Who does that? When a security officer in a state will come to tell you people are scared of dying, that's why they are not coming out. It's a complete blatant lie. It is because the Biafra people are resilient. We've trained and nurtured them on what freedom is all about, and that the freedom does not come very easily, and they have embraced it, and they are ready to sacrifice anything. So it beat Nigerian imagination that in this age, after all the mental slavery of the Biafra people, thinking that Biafra, they think that they have deceived and changed everything about Biafra people, that they all love money. So now, when they give you peanut, you will take it and betray your people. Many people are still doing that, but majority we have delivered. And today, they can see the resilience of Biafra people. So they have failed. Biafra are sitting at home because they are ready to do anything for this freedom. And they have seen that we have the key to it, and we will never disappoint them. And like I've always said, if you disappoint me, you will never succeed. Thank you.
Solomon,
yeah,
over to you.
good evening. Yeah, good evening here in Biafra land. I am Solomon from Elda State, former Ebonyi State. I sincerely appreciate this meeting and this update. Special thanks to our Prime Minister, he's a gallant soldier, and in fact, you are one in a million man. I appreciate you so much. Your record and your effort is well noted. I don't actually have much question, but then I want to ask the voting process. Like me, I voted online even before now. There are some gathering of the voting and the venues of voting. I don't know how some of them can be made known to us so that we can tell people, see where we can get it, see how we can get it done. Fine. I know it may not be announced publicly here, but then with this, I can get it. I can provide my email and let the information be dropped to me so that I will locate them and then know how we can get it in Biafra, especially in Elda State or Abakaliki State. So that is one part of my question. Then the side
Thank you very much. Let me address this one first, please. First of all, you know that Biafra has 40 states, and in that 40 states, in each state we have 15 counties, and in each county we have 5 districts. And all these counties have their heads, and all the 5 districts in each county also have their heads of district. So the governance is actually from the grassroots. That's the mathematics that have kept Nigeria like somebody deflecting on the air and the flies are confused. You know that adage in Igbo land, right? Aro,
yes.
Aro anyoro n'enu na agba ijijigharị. That is the point. So what you are looking for you to have access to that, you must be deep-rooted into the Biafra de facto government, like I've just explained. So if you are not deep-rooted into the Biafra Republic government, just continue to help the people as you have been helping them online. But like I said, from the county level down to the district, each state have 75 districts. And these 75 districts have 75 heads, plus the 15 county head, plus the executive of the state. So the governance is completely captured the entire Biafra land. That's what people don't know. And this is happening in Biafra land. Today, the Biafra liberation tax in the de facto government is improving on a monthly basis. So if you are not part of this particular structure I have mentioned now, just continue to help people online. Thank you.
All right. Well appreciated. In fact, is an articulated governance, because personally, I've tried to see how I can penetrate to get involved, but
you can never penetrate until you are deported into it.
It's also tight. All right. Let me stop there for now and let's progress. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, Teddy Megano. Teddy Megano, unmute yourself, please. Teddy Megano, you have the mic.
Okay. Good evening. My question.
We cannot hear him.
Have direct functional relationship with the litigation.
We cannot hear
others actually humiliation in right from the office. Me? Can you hear me?
We can't hear you, Teddy. You're breaking. You're breaking.
Can you hear me?
Yes, now you're. Go ahead now. Maintain that pitch. Just maintain the pitch you're speaking now and come close to your device. It's out.
It's out. Okay. Somebody else, please.
All right, we go to the next person. Galaxy 820. Galaxy 820, unmute yourself. Galaxy 820, unmute yourself. You have the mic. Go ahead.
Mr. Good evening, government in exile, department government, listeners of this briefing. I'm so honored to be here on this broadcast, and I want to say big thank you. I've got two questions. Number one is concerning the voting. Like some of what I've voted during the first stage of voting, online voting, but we don't have the voting card. We couldn't keep it. Do you have any issue with that? Because I've seen online or on the handle of the Prime Minister where some or other handles where emphasis has been laid so much on the need for us to have the card. Secondly, for those who are having issue with their passport, maybe date of birth issues, but then during voting, they use their real age, date of birth to vote. And now they are using passport, Nigerian passport, which is happening nowadays. How can they get about that when it comes to issue of ID? You don't apply for ID also. Thank you.
I'm sorry, I don't know if I actually understand your question, but if you have voted in the first phase, you don't need to vote for the second phase. You can only vote once, only once. One person, one vote. And if you don't have your evidence of voting, we have it in the record. You vote online, we have you in the record. So whenever we want to do something concerning the people that participated in the self-referendum, we will go to the archive of this Biafra Republic Government in Exile. Your voting and your information is there. So, and I think you don't necessarily have to keep your card as such, because we have those data if we need it. Thank you.
Galaxy A20, I hope you're clarified.
Yes, the other point is this. The Nigeria passport, some of us are issuing that's a turn of that. And many of us, during this voting, we use our real date of birth during the voting, the online voting. But in the passport, it's saying different thing. So how do we go about this when it comes to the time or the stage where we have to apply for ID?
Where are you voting from?
In South Africa.
So you should be more concerned about your Biafra liberation tax, not about the voting, not about your information in the voting. Focus more on your Biafra liberation tax if you are in diaspora, and South Africa happen to be in diaspora. So are you part of the family in South Africa?
Well, I haven't joined any group there, but I'm.
All right, that's where you are going to have problem, not in the voting. So go and sort yourself. You see the video that was just played now, they say it's from South Africa. And I don't know whether you know the person. So, you know, we don't want you people to get killed every time in South Africa. You need a country that you can be very proud of, so that people can come and teach them how to be a civilized human being, not where you go and they will be hunting you like animal. So go and join your family there, South Africa. We have a very formidable force in South Africa at this point. And I know that with the development and the event that is coming in coming weeks, South Africa will be swept by the Biafra Republic government in exile, and it is the right thing to do. Thank you.
Thanks so much. Yes, sir.
Right, Dr. Nyeka Okoli, unmute yourself.
Good evening, my Prime Minister.
Good evening from
His
here.
Excellency, Mazi Simon Ekpa.
Good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Jonathan Levy, cabinet members.
And just hold it there. This person that just spoke now from South Africa, the person speaking here is Dr. Coley. Dr. Coley is the acting liaison officer admin of South Africa. So as you can see the name, you can search it in the comment section and write a direct message to him so you can connect. Thank you. Go ahead, Dr. Coley.
Okay, thank you. I want to...
On your camera. Those that want to on their camera can on them now, please. Thank you.
You want me to on my camera? You want me to on my camera?
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, I'm not here to ask questions, but to give clarity and further insight to the video that was shared here earlier that emanated from South Africa. I happen to be in South Africa, so I speak as somebody who have the first-hand information of what is happening to Biafrans. We have a great evil befalling us in this country, and I believe it's also, a similar thing is also perhaps happening in some other countries. That video and that van parked there with our brother on top of that van speaking, that van was carrying the dead body of a Biafran. We are being killed in this country on a daily basis. And unfortunately, we Biafrans are like orphans in this country, because Nigerian government knows that most of the citizens, of course, will carry that Nigerian passport here. They know that they are Biafrans, so they don't care. They don't care. As far as we are concerned, they can continue to kill us on a daily basis. So his body was taken to the workshop where he works as a last homage before he's flown back home. And the guy, if you remember, he gave a statistics of the number of Biafrans that were killed in 2021, he mentioned, or 2022, because that guy have a funeral parlor. If you look at the side of that vehicle, you see it has a Biafran flag. So all Biafrans who are carried, he's directly involved in sending their bodies back home. He's frustrated, he's sad, he's distraught. And if you look at the people that gathered around there, you see the distraught look in their faces that, yes, there again, we are sending back home the body of one of us. I was personally involved, and who is killing these people? We all know that South Africans are quite xenophobic. South Africa have had this, I don't know whether it's competitive or ego thing that they don't like us because we are hardworking people. I'm not saying we have good citizens in this country, but in every society, you have the good, you have the bad, you have the ugly. Even in their police will have the ugly rogue police that goes around harassing our people who are doing business here. Sometimes they try to extort money from them by forcing them into confessing that they're doing crime, forcing them that have to pay them bribe for them to be able to. And sometimes when
yes,
you say,
Dr. Coley,
yes.
please, we're not in this particular briefing now for this, detailed information.
Okay.
We just go straight to this particular focus on this press release today.
Thank you.
And
yes.
so we are going to entertain just 2 more questions, and then we'll call it a day. So those who will be, wanting to ask question can join me again on my next space or on the State of the Nation before the sit at home, which is coming on the 29th, 30, and 31st. So the sit at home that is coming, which has been widely reported by the Zoo media, as you all can see, is to make sure that Biafrans, who have not voted, to take their time and participate in this self-referendum in your district, in your locality, in your villages. Make sure you comply with the electoral officials when they come and those who are very close to you. So Biafrans are urged to sit at home from the 29th to the 31st of May. And of course, so we are going to use these 3 days to be a very exceptional day for the Biafra liberation and of course in the history of this Biafra. For the very first time, self-referendum under the Biafra Republic government in exile is taking place. So please let us focus on that. Biafrans are urged to sit at home from the 29th, 30, and 31st day of May 2024. From 6 to 6, there will be no movement. And I want everybody to understand that those who think that they are supporting one Nigeria, the Nigeria government will be the one to eliminate you in order to blackmail someone. But they have done it in the past. They thought that when they kill people in Enugu, we are going to run away and abandon it at home. They kill people and destroy their properties in Ebonyi. They thought after doing that, we are going to chicken out. They also did it in Onitsha. They did it in different parts of Biafra land, taking that when they attack our people and they say, oh, it is because Amanekwa puts it at home. That's why people were being attacked. We are going to stop. No. If you fall a victim, blame yourself. Don't say we didn't tell you, because we are fighting to make sure you have a better life and a better country. Do not allow Nigeria to push you to your early grave, because they are going to use it as propaganda and nobody is going to ask questions about you. There are people who have died in the past and till today, nobody asks their family how they are feeling and what has happened to them. So when we are doing this, it is for your best interest. Nigeria is a very bad, very terrorist country that did not want them to use you to shine against Amanekwa, because nothing is going to stop me, believe me, till the declaration and defense of Biafra. Because after 2nd of December, the main struggle and liberation of Biafra will start. Not now. We have not started anything, because then Nigeria will actually wake up. That thing they have been seeing is no longer a dream. It's going to start after 2nd of December. And I know that before 2nd of December, they will do everything in this earth to stop Biafra. But they can never succeed. We've gone far, 1 million steps ahead of them. And every step they make, we know. So please, we focus on this particular goal. And those who did not have the opportunity to ask questions, I can see a lot of hands are up. I will make sure that I'll be dragging Dr. Levy here every once in a while to come and give an update on our progress so far, because we have, like I said, many things we are doing for Biafra people on international stage and international level. So, and this update will be coming as we make progress, and we'll be briefing Biafrans. Everybody should understand that it is not just about gun, bullet, and weapons. No, all those things are just what we use to defend ourselves while we continue to fight diplomatically in international stage to make sure that we follow every lender principle according to international law. I want to thank every one of you for being part of this particular press briefing, and journalists that are here that needed more information, especially the filing to the AU. We're going to make it public on our space, on our X handle, sorry, in the next few minutes after this press briefing. So go there and report. When you are reporting, make sure you report what you hear. Make sure you report what is in the document. Don't go and write that Simon Ekpa drag Yoruba to court, or it is not Simon Ekpa that it is dragging Nigeria to court. It's the Biafra government. Do not go and twist this particular milestone that the Biafra government in exile has achieved. It is not Simon Ekpa. It is the Biafra government. Write it the way it is. It is Nigeria versus Biafra. And we are expecting to hear how these things will unfold in the coming months. I want to thank every one of you for your support so far. Remember, tomorrow is the fundraising of the Biafra Republic government in exile. And I was expecting the Minister of Finance. I don't know if he's here, because we need finance and we need support like never before. So those with ideas, should come forward, because the more we are going deeper into this, the more resources are needed to face our enemy head on. But whether we are winning, we are winning. And we know that in the right time, a lot of things will happen, with time. So Dr. Levy, I thank you very much. It was very nice working with you up to this point. And you are very conversant with the Biafra and the Nigeria thing for a very long time with your experience. And it was good to work with you so far. I'm very, very happy with what I've seen. I expect more. And of course, fellow Biafrans, there are many, many people that are working together with the Biafra government. But of course, as we proceed and make a historic move, you are going to be seeing them one after the other. Thank you all for bringing out your time for this particular press briefing today. May God bless Biafra. May God bless you. May God bless the Biafra Defense Force. May God bless the men and the resoluteness of the Biafra cabinet, the ministers, all of you. Airborne for the Biafra Liberation Army.
Airborne. Airborne. Thank you, Prime Minister.
God bless Biafra.
Airborne. Thank you. We'll check the BDF and then